Hey everyone, it's Alexander here, and today I have a story that will absolutely shatter your heart. I cried reading this, and I know you will too. Our topic today is about discovering the unthinkable, when the man you trust has been living two completely different lives. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let's dive into this heartbreaking tale. My name is Jennifer. I'm 42 years old, and until 6 months ago, I thought I had the perfect marriage. 15 years with the same man, 15 years of building a life together, brick by brick, moment by moment. 15 years of believing I knew everything about the person sleeping next to me every night. I was wrong. So completely, devastatingly wrong. Let me take you back to the beginning, to the moment that started the unraveling of everything I thought was real. It was a Saturday afternoon in late September, one of those perfect fall days where the air smells like wood smoke and dying leaves, where the sun hits everything at that golden angle that makes the whole world look like a painting. Marcus, my husband, had told me he was going to Home Depot. We were renovating the basement, or at least that's what he'd said. He'd been working on it for months, always going to get supplies, always spending weekends down there working. I should have been suspicious. I should have asked more questions, but I trusted him. God, I trusted him so completely. He left around 2 p.m., kissed me on the forehead like he always did, said he'd be back in a couple hours. Just need to grab some drywall and insulation, he'd said, jangling his keys. Maybe stop by the hardware store too. You need anything? Just you back home safe, I'd said, smiling up at him from the couch where I was reading. He smiled back, that same smile I'd fallen in love with 17 years ago when we met at a mutual friend's barbecue. The smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes, the smile I thought I knew better than my own. 3 hours passed. Then 4. I texted him, "Everything okay? You've been gone a while." No response. 5 hours. 6. The sun was setting, painting the sky in streaks of orange and purple, and my husband still wasn't home. I called. It went straight to voicemail. I wasn't worried yet, not really. Maybe his phone died. Maybe he ran into an old friend. Maybe he decided to grab dinner. Marcus was reliable, steady, but he wasn't a child. He didn't need to check in every hour. But by 10 p.m., when he finally walked through the door, I was pacing the living room, my phone clutched in my hand, 1,000 terrible scenarios running through my mind. Car accident, hospital, mugging, death? "Where the hell have you been?" I practically shouted when he came in. "Your phone was off. I was about to call the police." He looked tired, more than tired, exhausted, drained. His eyes were red like he'd been crying, and there was something in his expression I'd never seen before, something like guilt, like shame. "I'm sorry," he said quietly, setting down a single small bag from Home Depot. One bag, after 8 hours. Red eyes, perfume. I needed to think. Something was wrong. Something was very, very wrong. I picked up the bag. Inside was a single package of light switch covers. That's it. Light switch covers. $8 worth of light switch covers. My hands started shaking. I told myself I was paranoid, told myself I was overreacting, told myself that 15 years of marriage meant something, that Marcus couldn't, but I couldn't shake the feeling. It stayed with me through that night, watching him sleep next to me, his back turned, the space between us feeling like an ocean. It stayed with me through breakfast the next morning when he barely looked at me, through the following week when he was distant and quiet and always on his phone, typing messages he'd quickly close when I entered the room. 2 weeks later, I did something I never thought I'd do. Something that felt like a violation of trust, like crossing a line I couldn't uncross. I went through his phone. He was in the shower again. He'd been taking a lot of showers lately, I realized, long showers, and he'd left his phone charging on the nightstand. Usually he took it everywhere, even to the bathroom, but this time he'd forgotten. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. My hands were sweating as I picked it up. I knew his passcode, his mother's birthday, same as always. He'd never changed it. The phone unlocked. I went to his messages first. Nothing suspicious. Texts with me, with his brother, with his boss, with some friends from work. All normal, all innocent. But then I saw it. An app I didn't recognize, buried in a folder labeled Utilities, along with the calculator and flashlight. An app with an icon that looked like a generic notepad. I clicked on it. It wasn't a notepad. It was a hidden messaging app, the kind that doesn't show up in your regular messages, the kind people use when they're hiding something. There were thousands of messages, thousands, going back years, and they were all to Elle. My vision blurred as I scrolled through them. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. Missing you so much. Can't wait until next weekend. Tell the kids I love them. Kiss them goodnight for me. I hate lying to her, but I can't lose you. I can't lose them. Kids. He was talking about kids. I kept scrolling, my heart hammering, bile rising in my throat. Photos. Hundreds of photos. A woman with long dark hair and a bright smile. Pretty. Young. Maybe early 30s. And children. 2 children. A boy who looked about 7 and a girl who looked about 5. They all had Marcus's eyes, that distinctive hazel green color that I'd always thought was so unique. There was a photo of Marcus holding the little girl, her arms wrapped around his neck, both of them laughing. Another of him teaching the boy how to ride a bike. Another of all 4 of them at a playground, looking like a perfect, happy family. There were birthday photos, Christmas photos, vacation photos, years and years of photos documenting a life I knew nothing about. I dropped the phone. It clattered onto the hardwood floor, and the sound was so loud, so sharp, but I barely heard it over the roaring in my ears. He had another family. My husband of 15 years had an entire other family. I don't remember walking to the bathroom, don't remember opening the door, but suddenly I was there, and he was stepping out of the shower, water dripping down his body, reaching for a towel. And then he saw my face. He went pale, actually pale, all the color draining from his skin. "Jennifer," he started. "Who are they?" My voice didn't sound like mine. It sounded hollow, dead. "I can explain. Who are they?" He wrapped the towel around his waist, wouldn't look at me. "Can we talk about this when I'm dressed? Answer me right now, or I swear to God, Marcus." "Her name is Laura, and those are my children. Our children. Emma is 7, Jacob is 5. The bathroom tilted. I grabbed the doorframe to keep from falling. "Your children," I repeated. "Your children. You have children with another woman." Yes, that one word, that single syllable, it destroyed me. "How long?" I whispered. He was quiet for so long I thought he wouldn't answer. Then, 8 years. 8 years. 8 years of living a double life. 8 years of lying to me every single day. 8 years of going to another house, another family, other children, while I sat here at home thinking everything was fine. Do you know about me?" He nodded slowly. Laura knows. The kids don't. They think I travel for work. That's why I'm not always there. And what does she think I am? She thinks I'm your ex-wife, that we're divorced but still friendly. I actually laughed, a harsh, broken sound that hurt coming out. Your ex-wife, that's what you told her. And what did you tell me? All those weekends you were working, those business trips, those were to see them? Yes. The basement renovation that's been going on for months? There is no basement renovation, is there? No. I stumbled backwards, out of the bathroom, down the hallway. He followed me, still dripping wet, clutching his towel. Jennifer, please let me. You have children, I said, the words feeling foreign in my mouth. You have a son and a daughter, and I never knew. We talked about having kids, Marcus. We tried for years. Do you remember? All those doctor's appointments, all those negative pregnancy tests, all those times I cried because I thought there was something wrong with me. And the whole time, you already had children, with someone else. His face crumpled. I know. God, Jennifer, I know. That was the worst part. Watching you go through all that pain, all that heartbreak, knowing that I already had kids, knowing that I was the problem all along. Wait. My blood went cold. What do you mean you were the problem? He looked at the floor. After Emma was born, I got tested. The doctor said my sperm count was really low, that conceiving would be difficult but not impossible with the right timing. I never told you. So all those years we were trying, you knew it was unlikely to happen? You let me think it was my fault? I didn't want to hurt you. You didn't want to hurt me. You didn't want to hurt me. I was screaming now. You let me blame myself. You let me go through procedure after procedure, treatment after treatment, thinking my body was broken. And the whole time, you knew. You knew and you said nothing. I'm sorry. Get out! Jennifer, get out of my house. Get out of my life. I don't care where you go. Go to Laura. Go to your real family. Just get the fuck away from me. This is my house too. I don't care. Get out or I'm calling the police. Get out. He got dressed in silence, packed a bag. The whole time I sat on the bed, staring at nothing, my mind blank and buzzing at the same time. Before he left, he tried one more time. Jennifer, I'm so sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen. I do love you. That was always real. I didn't respond, didn't even look at him. Just sat there until I heard the front door close, until I heard his car start, until the sound of the engine faded away into nothing. And then, I broke. I'm talking complete breakdown, screaming into pillows, throwing things, crying so hard I thought I'd turn inside out. I destroyed our bedroom, ripped the sheets off the bed, threw his clothes out of the closet, smashed the framed photos of us on the dresser, broke everything breakable until my hands were bleeding and the room was a disaster, and I was hoarse from screaming. Then, I collapsed on the floor and cried until there were no tears left, until I was just dry heaving, my body convulsing, my chest aching like someone had reached in and squeezed my heart until it popped. How do you recover from something like this? How do you move forward when your entire life has been a lie? The next few days are a blur. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't function. I called in sick to work, stayed in bed, stared at the ceiling, replayed every moment of our 15 years together, trying to find the truth hidden in all the lies. Our anniversary trips? Were those squeezed in between visits to Laura? The times he came home smelling like baby powder, was that from holding Jacob? The new cologne he started wearing 3 years ago, did Laura buy it for him? Every memory was tainted, poisoned. Nothing was real anymore. My sister Emily came over when I stopped answering her calls. She has a key, let herself in, and found me in bed, unwashed, the house a mess, and she knew immediately that something catastrophic had happened. "Jen? Jesus Christ, what happened?" I told her everything, every horrible detail. She held me while I cried, while I raged, while I whispered, "How could he do this?" over and over, until the words lost meaning. "What are you going to do?" she asked finally. "I don't know. Divorce him, obviously, but I don't know how to exist right now. I don't know who I am without him. 15 years, Em. 15 years, and it was all fake." "It wasn't all fake. Your feelings were real. Your love was real. Just because he's a lying piece of shit doesn't mean your emotions were invalid." But it felt invalid. It felt like I'd been living in a delusion, playing house with a man who had a whole other life I knew nothing about. Emily helped me clean up, helped me shower, helped me eat something. Just toast, but it was something. And then she helped me find a lawyer. The divorce was brutal. I wanted to take him for everything, wanted to destroy him the way he'd destroyed me. But his lawyer was good, and Marcus had been smart. He'd kept his money separate, had accounts I didn't know about, had been funneling money to Laura and the kids for years. We'd always had separate bank accounts, his money and my money and our money for household expenses. I thought it was about maintaining independence. Turned out it was so he could hide his double life. The house was in both our names, so we had to split the equity. 15 years of building a home together, reduced to a check and a signature. But I got one thing I wanted. I wanted to meet her, Laura. I wanted to look the woman in the eye who'd been sleeping with my husband for 8 years. My lawyer advised against it, said it would be too emotional, too volatile. But I insisted. I needed to see her, needed to understand what she had that I didn't. We met at a coffee shop, neutral territory. Marcus wasn't there, thank God, because I might have killed him if I'd seen him. Laura was younger than I'd expected from the photos. 32, she told me later. Pretty in a wholesome, girl-next-door kind of way. She looked terrified when she walked in, her eyes darting around until they landed on me. I'd worn my best outfit, done my hair and makeup. I wanted her to see what she helped destroy, wanted her to see that I wasn't just some abstract ex-wife, but a real person whose life she helped ruin. We sat across from each other, both holding coffee cups neither of us drank. "I'm sorry," she said immediately. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Not at first. He told me he was divorced." "When did you find out the truth?" "About 2 years ago. I found his wedding ring in his bag. He'd been taking it off when he came to see me, putting it back on when he left. When I confronted him, he broke down, told me everything. That you thought he was away for work, that you had no idea about me or the kids. And you stayed with him, even after knowing he was lying to both of us?" Her eyes filled with tears. "I know how it sounds. I know I should have left, should have told you. But I have 2 children with him. Emma and Jacob depend on him. And I love him. I know that makes me horrible. I know I'm a terrible person. But I love him and I couldn't just walk away." "He has a vasectomy," I said suddenly. "What?" She blinked. "After Jacob was born, he got a vasectomy. Told you it was because 2 kids was enough, right? That you agreed not to have more?" She went pale. "How did you—" "Because I know him, knew him, whatever. He couldn't risk having kids with me after having kids with you. Couldn't risk the timeline not matching up. So he got snipped and never told me. Let me keep hoping, keep trying, keep breaking my heart month after month with negative pregnancy tests." "I didn't know," she whispered. "I swear I didn't know he was doing that to you." "What do your kids think? About where their dad is all the time?" "They think he travels for work. A lot." They're used to him being gone. Emma asks sometimes why he can't be home more, but we tell her, Daddy has an important job, that he's providing for us. He is, with my money, our money, money from our joint account that I thought was going to savings, to retirement, to our future. He's been taking thousands every month and giving it to you. She looked genuinely shocked. I didn't know it was your money. He said it was his, from his job. Did you really not know? Or did you just not want to know? She started crying then, real tears streaming down her face. I don't know. Maybe I suspected. Maybe I chose not to look too closely because it was easier, because I had 2 kids to feed and a man who said he loved me, and I wanted to believe the best-case scenario. I'm not a homewrecker, Jennifer. Or at least, I never meant to be. I never set out to destroy your marriage, but you did. Whether you meant to or not, you did. We sat in silence for a long time. 2 women who'd been sharing a man without knowing it, who'd both been lied to, who'd both believed they were the only one. What happens now? She asked finally. Now? Now I divorce him, move on with my life, try to put together the pieces of who I am without him. Are you going to tell the kids, Emma and Jacob, about me? I'd thought about this, spent hours agonizing over it. Those children were innocent. They hadn't asked for any of this. No, I said finally. They don't need to know. Let them keep their father. Let them believe he's a good man who just works a lot. They don't deserve to have their world shattered the way mine was. Thank you, she whispered. Don't thank me. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for them. But Laura, if you stay with him, knowing what he's capable of, knowing that he lied to both of us for years, you're a fool. He'll do it again. Maybe not with another family, but he'll lie about something. That's who he is. I know, she said quietly. I know that. But I don't know how to leave. I don't have family here, no support system, and the kids love him so much. Then you're choosing to stay with a liar. That's on you. I left her there, crying into her coffee, and I walked out into the bright sunshine, feeling nothing. Not better, not worse. Just empty. The divorce was finalized 3 months later. I got half of everything, which wasn't as much as I'd hoped since he'd been hiding so much. He got visitation rights that he wouldn't use because I wasn't actually the parent of anyone. I sold the house. Couldn't stand to live there anymore, surrounded by ghosts of a marriage that never really existed. Moved into a small apartment across town. Started over from scratch. Therapy helped. Dr. Richardson, a kind woman in her 60s who'd seen everything, helped me process the trauma. Because that's what it was. Trauma betrayal. The kind that rewires your brain, makes you question everything and everyone. You'll trust again, she told me in one session. It won't feel like it now, but you will. How? I asked. How do I trust anyone when the person I trusted most in the world betrayed me so completely? You learn to trust yourself first. Trust your instincts. Trust that you can survive. And then, slowly, you open yourself up to trusting others, but you do it carefully, with boundaries, with eyes wide open. It's been 6 months now. 6 months since that Saturday afternoon when Marcus left for Home Depot and came back smelling like perfume. 6 months since I discovered my husband had another wife, other children, an entire secret life. I'm not okay yet. I don't know if I'll ever be fully okay, but I'm surviving. I get up every morning. I go to work. I see my friends. I laugh sometimes, even though it feels strange, like I'm relearning how to. I ran into Marcus once, about a month ago, at a grocery store of all places. We stood in the produce section, awkwardly holding vegetables, not knowing what to say. "How are you?" he asked finally. "I'm alive. That's about all I can say." "Jennifer?" "I don't." Whatever you're about to say, just don't. There's nothing you can say that will make this better, nothing that will undo what you did." He nodded, looked older than I remembered, tired. "For what it's worth, I am sorry. I know that doesn't mean anything, but I am." "It doesn't mean anything," I agreed. "But I hope you're happy, Marcus. I hope she's worth it. I hope those kids grow up never knowing what their father really is. I hope you can live with yourself." "I don't know if I can," he said quietly. "That's not my problem anymore." I walked away from him then, leaving him standing there with a bunch of wilted lettuce in his hands, and I didn't look back. That's the thing about betrayal this deep, this complete. You don't get closure. You don't get a satisfying ending where the bad guy gets punished and you ride off into the sunset. You just get life. Messy, complicated, painful life. I still have bad days. Days where I can't get out of bed. Days where I cry over stupid things like finding one of his old t-shirts in the back of a drawer, or hearing a song that we used to like. Days where the anger is so overwhelming I want to scream. But I also have good days. Days where I laugh with my sister. Days where I try a new restaurant, or take a pottery class, or go for a long walk, and actually notice the trees and the sky, and remember that the world is still beautiful, even if my heart is broken. I'm learning who I am without him. Jennifer, 42, divorced, starting over. It's terrifying and liberating at the same time. I don't know if I'll ever get married again. Don't know if I'll ever trust someone enough to build a life with them. The thought of letting someone that close, of being that vulnerable again, makes my stomach turn. But maybe someday. Maybe when I've healed enough. Maybe when I've learned to trust my own judgment again. For now, I'm focusing on me, on rebuilding, on figuring out what I want from life beyond being someone's wife. I'm writing this at 2 a.m. again. I still can't sleep sometimes. The apartment is quiet and dark, and I'm sitting here with my laptop, telling this story to strangers on the internet because maybe someone else needs to hear it. Maybe someone else is going through something similar. Maybe someone else discovered their spouse has been living a double life. Maybe someone else feels like their entire existence was a lie. If that's you, I want you to know, you're not crazy. You're not stupid. You're not to blame. He made choices. She made choices. They lied. They deceived. They chose themselves over you, over honesty, over your shared life. And that's on them, not you. You loved honestly. You trusted fully. You gave everything. Those aren't weaknesses. Those are strengths. Don't let their betrayal turn you cold and bitter. Don't let it destroy your capacity to love. I'm still working on that part. Still trying to believe that not everyone is a liar, that not every relationship is built on deception, that somewhere out there, honest love still exists. Some days I believe it. Some days I don't. But I keep going. That's all I can do. Keep breathing. Keep moving forward. Keep choosing to survive. Because the alternative? Letting this destroy me, letting him win, giving up on life and love and happiness, that's not an option. I refuse to let his lies define the rest of my story. So I'm writing a new story, one where I'm the main character, not the supporting role in someone else's drama, one where I'm strong and independent and learning to love myself again. It's a slow process, painful, full of setbacks and breakdowns and moments where I want to give up. But I'm doing it. One day at a time, one breath at a time, one step forward, even when I want to crumble. And maybe someday, I'll look back on this and see it not as the worst thing that ever happened to me, but as the catalyst that forced me to become who I was always meant to be. I'm not there yet, not even close.